Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to another class. Give me a second. Let me check if everything is working fine here. Let's see. The sound is okay. Hello, testing. Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to another class. The sound looks good. So today we'll learn three basic topics, but they are very interesting. Is Hello World, is how every coding training start, every new language, we first thing we see the hello world. Then we learn how to use comments. Hey, hello, Gabriel, welcome. And variables. Variables is one of the most fundamental and important concept. So let's go. We already had a previous class that I tried to explain you how to set up the Visual Studio Code with our solution. And I told you that in this project, that is a console application project, we have this program.cs. So program.cs is the entry point. That means when we run this program, when we type here .NET build, the project will be built. And when we do .NET run, this is the program that is going to be executed. Oh, what is wrong here? Oh, wait, I know what is this. You need to be into the project folder. And we'll see hello world. So when we create this project, this program.cs, CS stands for C#. Like I told in the first class, that every file, we need to identify the type. So here's a CS project, is a C# project. This is a CS. The same way you have a Word, that is doc. We have Excel, that there is the extension for Excel. I forgot which one is now, but there is an extension for Excel. PDF, all the files, there is extension, so the operational system can knows like how to interpret the content. So this is the basic hello world. But one thing that we'll do is this entire project represents just one program. So in theory, we only gonna have one entry point. But as we're gonna be create multiple programs, so we can learn every one of the new thing, we'll do a little trick here. Instead of have everything in this file, we'll create one file for every concept that we will be learning, and then we're gonna run that program. In some language, like Python, that is interpret, we can just create the file and run that specific file. But in C#, .NET, and Java as well, we only run the project. So every project, there is only one entry point. So what we'll do is we'll create multiple files, and we'll change here which program we're going to be running every time. So the same thing as we do .NET run, or if you go here to the run and run start without debug, we run the same project. So what you do now is we'll go here and create a new file. As we're going to have multiple files, and I want to have them in order that we are created in, I will call this file _001 underscore or underscore hello world.cs. Right now, you have to do abstraction. I will show something that later on we will learn all the details. But for now, we will do something like this. Using system is just to say, oh, I want to use the libraries that this .NET API or .NET platform already have. AI Copilot is already feeling the thing here, so I can turn this off or on. I think is right here, inline suggestion. I can just disable this, so that way, when we are learning, maybe that is confusing because AI is going to try to predict. Look, the file is called hello world. So if I enable this, is assume, oh, this guy wants to create something called hello world. So If I start to type here, it's going to try to create for me. But I don't want exactly like this. So for now, I will turn off just a little bit, and later on we can turn on. So what we do here is we'll create a class. We'll learn everything like this later on, and we're gonna call hello world. We're gonna create now what we learned this later on is what we call method. It's kind of solve program, but for now will be our program. So will be like this, and we will call it run. Oops, run. What did I do wrong here? Public. Oh, start case before I start. Void run. What I'm doing now is, okay, now I will do the console dot write line and hello world. However, if I run my, instead of hello world, I will do this. I will put here, welcome to the software engineering training. Let's do a .NET build. And a .NET run. Let's see what happened here. We are still seeing hello world. Why? Because the entry point is this. And in the entry point, we are doing this hello world. If I want to run this guy, I will do this. I will remove this line for now. And I use this class name, hello world, dot run. So now we are telling our entry point, okay, when anyone run this program, I want to run this guy here, the run method in the hello world. We'll learn all about this later on. Every single word of those, we're gonna learn about it, but right now, you must use abstraction. The only thing you need to know, well, this is a new file. This new file has something that is called a class, that in this case is public, and there is an entry point called run. So this is what going to be executed. So now if I do a build, and then I run, I will see, welcome to the software engineer training. Or we could call this hello coding world. If we run from here, we don't need to be running this all the time. I'm just showing, just so you know. We can run from here. We can just run without debugging, that we can see the result there. Or if it's the case, we can put a breakpoint and then run with debugging. So we have the opportunity to stop and then execute line by line. Look, there is nothing in the output yet. This is from the previous run. And as soon as I step in this line, we see that new run. If I want to be sure, I clear my console and then I run again with debug or F5. And see, there is nothing there. Now this line, debug is amazing to learn because we can see the program be executed step by step. Because if you just run, it's lightning fast, we don't see what is going on. So now I see hello world and then it's done. So what is going to happen is for everything that we're going to learn, we will create a new program. We will have a name for that program and we have a run method or a run function or a run something that in here we will write our code. And every time we will come here and tell what we want to run. Cool? So the next topic we learn is about comments, because everything we are writing here is meant to be executed, to be translated for a computer. But sometimes we want to just put some comment for another human to read, or maybe some tools. And comment in C#, I will create a new file. I will do this. I will copy this guy, copy. I will be lazy and paste. And I rename this. Where is rename? Rename to hello world. 002 hello world with comments. See, they will be, why is not the same order? Because this is 01, this is 002. But still, this guy should be after. Yeah, but they're gonna be in sequence. So now I change this name because we can only have the class, one name for each class. So this, I have to change this to hello world with comments as well. Pay attention that the file name does not need to be exactly the class name. The file name is _002 hello world. Okay? And now let's remove this. Or let's do this. I put comment. So if we use // this is a one-line comment. From the / means from that point on is just a comment. It's going to be ignored by the compiler and the execution. And now I can give some context to help someone understand what is going on here. I can take -- including the system.NET library. So someone reading, okay, using system, or including or using, so or including. I can come here and do something like this. Declaring a class called hello world with comments. Or I could put this in the line above. So now if a human is reading this, it's going to give some context. This comment is only for humans. It's not going to affect anything in the program itself. But it's very important. A good engineer does always add some good comments to help everyone to understand some details about the program. It's a very, like I say, a very indication that someone is a very mature and experienced engineer when they use good comments. Some comments can go to multiple lines. So how we do that? Instead of just have one line like this, we could have slash, star, star, and slash. So now I can put comments in multiple lines. I could say this, we are declaring a class called hello. Let me copy this to be faster. In the line below. This class has one method called run and and it will use as the entry point. Okay, so if you want to span one comment for multiple lines, we can do this, open and close. Sometimes people like to do this to be like fancy. So you keep this thing aligned. I see people that love to do that. And we can add something else as well. We can come here and, oops, sorry. Later on, I'm gonna show some more details, but something like this. This is the run map. I could tell, oh, it's a pub, it's a stat, but for now, we don't know what that means yet. And I can come here and I could have that original console.write line. I will comment and then I can say like this, hello world dot run. I would comment it as well. And now I will call the new one, hello world with comment dot run. Just to make sure that I run the right one, I can come here and say hello world coding with comment. And now if I put a breakpoint here, where in my program, I put a breakpoint and then do start with debug. We are here, and then we'll go to this class, hello world with comments, and execute this method. So if we go in, right now we are doing this, hello coding world with comments. So this is the trick we will be using to create multiple programs, and every time run a different one. We will comment and do something else. Cool? Okay. Now let's jump to another very interesting topic, variables. We have to understand very clear what a variable is, because basically a program is a variable processor, is a data processor. So let me open the Scala draw here. I will create a new thing. Let's see if I can just how to do a cleanup. There is something to that. Yes, reset the canvas. So when we create a program, imagine this is our program memory. When we are running our program, we need to be able to manipulate data, the input. So every program will need to have an input, and most of the time we will generate an output. So this is the basic concept when we create a program. So let's put here like program. So our program has to have the ability to store those inputs in our memory. So our program can have access to that data in the computer memory. That idea is called variable. So basically a variable we can use as abstraction as like a little box or even a big box, a box where we give a name. So every variable will have a name plus a type. We remember from the first class that every computer needs to know the type of the information that is being stored, because under the hood, everything is a sequence of zeros and ones. So we need to tell if it's a text, if it's a number, if it's an image, if it's a sound. So every time we think about a variable, think like this. We need a name and we need a type. This is common in every programming language. Some languages are more like strict, the way that we have to define the type, we cannot change later on. But any computer to store a variable need to know what the information is in there. If it does not know up front, need to know when it's reading or writing. Okay? So if our program need to store like a name, we can say, okay, we're gonna create a variable. Let's put here box. We'll call this variable name or first name or whatever name you want to give. And you tell this variable is the type string. We'll learn about those later on. And now every time we want to add information or access this information, we'll use this name. This is the basic secret about coding. Understand the idea of variables. We already saw an example where I like a program that was being compiled and then we store like price and percentage, something like this. So let's go to our code and let's prepare to do this example. So let's create a new file. Let's call underscore 003 underscore variables dot cs. What you do here, using system. Why? Do this. Don't worry about it now. Public class variables. And then here, public start void run. Void run. Whoever play Minecraft, StarCraft, there is a ship called void run. And now what you do, let's go to our entry point. Let's comment this code and then do variables. Variables dot, why is not getting it? Variables public class. I guess because I didn't build yet, so it does not see it, but to be something like, oh wait, what the heck? Variables dot, come on, dot. Let's do, something is wrong here, but let's see what is wrong. Oh wait, I'm so crazy that I didn't save it yet, right? Oh, I put the wrong folder. Look where I put it. Instead of put inside of the project, so now I move to the right place. So this, and I put an output here, so we know that we are running it right to a right line. I put something like variables. Cool. Those are the, so now let's run it, F5. And we put a breakpoint here. I will let the breakpoint go and then variables there. Now let's start to do some variables usage. So the basic way to use a variable is we'll define the type, let's say string, we'll give a name. In optional, we can provide a value. So let's call the name Jose. I put a breakpoint here so you can see what is happening. When I press F5, I remove this breakpoint here. Let's go to the next one. So pay attention that in our debugging, there is an area called variables where we can see all the variables that our program is using. So right now we see there is a variable called name with the type string. But you can say, oh, but this code is not executed. We are not in this line yet. Yes, but as our code is compiled, the environment already know that this variable is going to be used. So we already have the space for that variable ready. We are going to print here variables, just the string variables. And now we will get this variable called name and add Jose to that name. See, Jose is there. This is very important for us to understand. What we're doing is we are getting a variable and we are assigning a value. So this variable here will have the content Jose. Very, very basic. And we do nothing else. What we can do is, let's use the same console.writeLine, and let's output that variable name. So if we just run without any, no, let's use a debug. I put the debug here. I remove from here and put a red here. So what happened? The variable name will receive the content, the string José, and then we'll print the content. So it's very important to understand that every time you use a variable name, one variable reference, we are actually access the content. We are assigning a content or we are reading that content. For example, in this case, we are saying this variable that is called name is going to receive this value, José. And now we have a command that can print variables to the console that is going to receive name. What is going to be printed here? Some people get confused. Oh, I want to see name, but not name is what name is reference. So in this case, name is reference, the content José. It's very important that you understand this. What should I do to see a difference? For example, instead José, I want to see Leila, my wife's name. We go here and then we'll change to Leila. When we debug our code now, I will press F5 to be faster. The variable now is still calling name, but the value is Leila. And then we will print it. Look, we print Leila. This program is not very useful because every time we run, we only have the same value. Later on, we will learn how we can type and put a value there. But right now, what I want you all to understand is for every variable, let's put multiple lines. Variable. We need declaration. Declaration is by the type and the name or the identifier. So in this case, the type is a string and the name of the variable, in this case, is name. We call this name or identifier. Let's see another example. Let's call now a variable type of int, call age. And then I put my age here, 54. And look what the IDE is telling me. Oh, do you know you have a variable called age, but you are not doing anything after that. So it's just a warning, because now what we can do, we can say console.writeLine age. Let's run this program again. The variable name has Leila, and we're going to print Leila. The variable age is going to receive 54, and we'll print that variable, 54. This is how a program can store variable and can output variable. We can print, we can save to a file, send it to another computer, showing the screen somewhere. So we'll learn way more about those types, but right now it's very important that this is clear. Every information, every data that we use in our program has to be stored in a variable. We will learn later on more complex type of variable, but basically is that. This is a golden rule. There is no other option. If you're gonna use something is like an ingredient for a computer, for a program, has to be stored in a variable. Let's go to the memory. Cool. Later on, we'll learn different type of variables. So this is what we're going to learn in the next class. But what we learned today is the idea of a variable that visually is something like this, is a box that has a name and a type. And of course, is going to receive values. Oh, sorry, this guy here. Right now, this program is not very useful because we only print this name, Leila, and my age. Later on, we'll learn how we can, every time we run, get different names, different age. Is how, like when we go to do a registration, we go to create a new email or something like that. We have to give our name, our address, our email, password. Everything will be like this. We're going to read, store in a variable, and later on, we will decide what to do with that variable. It's part of we're going to be learning. But I want to make sure that the concept of a variable is very clear for you, because nothing else makes sense if the variable is not clear. Don't get confused that this variable, the name is name. We could do something like this to make sure that it's clear. One variable, the type string, call first name. Another variable, string, call last name. Oh. And now we can say something like this: console dot write line. Look how crazy this is. First name plus space plus last name. So our program is getting two variables and combined in just one and print it. So let's put a breakpoint right here so we can see what is going on. This is what we'll be learning, how to use variables to calculate something new. Is that why we say computing? Because we are always computing something new. So look, this variable receives my first name, José, my last name, Santos. Now I will combine both. Someone could say, whoa, this is crazy. One student once told me, José, it's crazy. How can we add letters? How can we add first name plus last name? That is the catch. We are not adding the variable name. We are adding the variable content. And in this case, as they are string, they're going to be concatenated. So look what we're going to see. José space Santos. Let's see a better example. Int, I will call here number 1. We receive 10. Int number 2 will receive 5. And now look this. Int number 3 will receive number 1 plus number 2. Oh, number 2. As we can see, variable names cannot have spaces. Has to be just one single word. And cannot start with a number. Okay, it's something that if you do the mistake, if you do something, if I said one number, we'll see this, because the language you think, oh, this is a constant 1. So has to always start with a letter or a symbol, cannot be start with a number. So I saw some students say, I'm so confused. How can we add number 1 plus number 2? It will be like number. So no, what is happening here is this. Let me put this guy side by side here. Oh, sorry. Actually, let me make it like, let me scroll down and let's see what happened. We had one box. That box will be number 1. That is an integer. Let me make like, I will copy this. Then we have number 2. And then we have number 3. I'm very careful with this because if you don't understand this, you'll be lost forever in learning code. I guess we put 10 here, 5 here. Oh, 5. So now when we say something like number 3 receive number 1 plus number 2, this is a big abstraction. There is a lot of things that happen behind the scene because remember, under the hood, this is a binary. This is a binary. We can even know like how much is 10 in binary. We already have an idea, no? It's kind of, if we do this, remember, let's go here, was like 1, 2, 4, 8. So 10, this is in binary, like, so 10 will be something like this. The first bit will be on because we have 8. The second bit will be 0, otherwise we go to 12. The third bit will be 1, and then we have 10, and the second one will be this. How is 5? 5 is 4 and 1, so it will be 0, 1, 0, 1. This is what is under the hood. This is only like a abstraction. Let's remove this so don't confuse you. So now when we are creating an operation like this, number 1, this guy actually is whatever is in that variable. So number 1 will be converted to, in this case, 10. Number 2 will be converted to 5. Then we have 10 plus 5 will be 15. And this 15 is going to be stored here because we are doing assignment. This is how a program works. If you understand this, make it way easier to understand everything else. I was a professor for a long time, over a decade, and I realized some students had a hard time to understand this. How am I gonna add letters to another? It's because we are not adding the letters, you are adding whatever is in this space. This is like a spreadsheet cell. We have that coordinate, and then we see the value inside it. It's like we have a drawer that we give a name, and we have something inside that drawer. A socks, a shirt, pants. This is the foundation of coding. We'll be storing values in variables, and then we'll be operating. And the challenge is we don't have too many operations. It's basically like math is some other operation that we will be learning in our training. If you all understand very clear what a variable is, I'm already happy because then I will make it easier to move. So make sure that you understand this concept. We use this in every single class. There is no way to have a program without variables. Impossible. It's like to have a recipe without ingredients. What you're gonna do if there is no ingredients? The same with a program. What you're gonna do if there is no input? There is nothing to compute with. Cool? So I hope I didn't confuse you, that this concept is very clear. And then we make easier to learn everything else later on. Cool? Well, thank you very much for participating. God bless you. See you next class. We make easier to learn everything else later on. Well, thank you very much for participating.